Hi, and very good morning, everyone, and welcome back. For those of you who had joined us earlier for the IVF opening, um, thank you once again for coming back live. So now we have with us Ned, Regional Chief Technology Officer, and Miss Vicky Chai, sorry, Chief People's Officer from Aviva Singlife, who will be sharing with us more about Aviva Singlife and its new business directions, growth business units, as well as the exciting opportunities available on their team. So during this session, please feel free to put any questions you have in the Q&A window, and we'll address these live during the session. So I'll now hand the time over to Ned and Vicky.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Let me just share. Host is disabled screen sharing. Am I able to share? Sorry?
Yes, please try that again.
Okay, thank you. There we go. Okay, so let me talk to you today a little bit about Aviva Singlife. I'll give a quick introduction to the company, and then I'll hand over to Vicky, who can talk a little bit more about the company and the culture that we've built here.
Sorry to disturb, Ned.
Yep.
The screen isn't showing up very clearly because I think it's a bit too big. Yes, can you zoom in a little bit more? Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Oh, is that okay now? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So who is Aviva Singlife? Well, I'll start maybe with Singlife. And Singlife was the first licensed independent homegrown insurance company here in Singapore for over 40 years, something that we're very proud of. And Aviva Singapore has been in the region for a long time across all of Asia and, of course, Europe and the US as well. And whereas perhaps Singlife's approach was more around digital and engaging through mobile apps and web apps, Aviva Singapore has a very deep sort of foothold and integration with the financial advisors here, as well as, of course, their own set of tools and platforms. So we've come together, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But what was really our purpose? And our purpose was reshaping finance to unlock the potential of money for everyone. It's a very grandiose thing to say, but basically we felt that insurance wasn't giving enough to its customers, and that we could do a better job to unlock the potential of people's money, because that's essentially the most important thing to allow them to live their lives. And we did that through offering an integrated experience, and I'll give a little bit more detail on that soon, but bringing together savings, investment, and protection into a single platform. Furthermore, as we go forwards, we're looking to digitally enable advisors so that they can still give you that human support that people sometimes need when buying complex products, but still give the digital enablement so you can still self-service and see everything yourself. Our key markets are Singapore and the Philippines. Singlife started here in Singapore, as you can probably guess from the name, but we set up the Philippines office about 2 years ago now, and they're doing really amazing things, and I'm very proud of the team out there. So we came together with Aviva almost exactly a year ago now, and the two different sides had different strengths that we could bring together to be very complementary. Singlife was a very strong local regional brand. Born in Singapore, we're very proud of that. And we wanted to grow bigger. We had a great platform. We built some tools, but we felt that we wanted to make an impact on a larger scale. And of course, Aviva has over 1 million customers, has a much wider product base than Singlife had. And it has the advisory channels, which I mentioned before. So by bringing everything together with the sort of the tech and the energy of a small startup, or not so small anymore, of Singlife, joining together with more traditional, bigger base of Aviva, then we came together to create a much stronger company together. Now, what's the problem with insurance? Why I mentioned before that we wanted to unlock the potential of money for everyone. So what is the problem with insurance? Why is it that we can do a better job than other people? Well, to me, insurance is well, let's say it's not as sexy as it could be. It's one of those things that people buy the product and then typically don't think about for a long time. No one really wakes up in the morning and thinks about buying insurance. So we wanted to change that by having a much more engagement with our customers, much more touch points with them so that we understood their needs more. Secondly, well, mobile penetration, particularly here in Asia, is very high, but insurance hasn't really taken advantage of that. You know, when you talk about banking, you're quite likely to have a mobile banking app on your phone. It's probably something that you refer to quite regularly. But in insurance, that just simply hasn't happened. And we felt that that was something that we could change. I'm a technologist, so this is something very dear to my heart, is that the systems used in insurance are outdated. And that gives a lot of opportunity to a company that comes along and takes advantage of the use of technology, and in particular, I think, the use of data, to be able to give a better customer experience and also understand the customer better. And finally, insurance tends to be product driven, not customer or data driven. When you go to a lot of insurers' web pages, or when you're talking to an insurer, you'll get a long list of products which don't necessarily have much differentiation in the name. And so you need to ask a lot of questions to know which one is right for you. And we feel that we can do a much better job there by flipping the script a little bit and say, well, given that you're this type of person, because we know a little bit about you and we know a lot about other people like you, we think these are the best products for you. Of course, there's still some customization, some change that can be done, but it's not just a long list of products that you're going to get confused about. Now, part of how we've solved some of those problems in the journey so far is the Singlife Mobile. This was released actually at the FinTech Festival, so it's almost exactly 2 years ago now. And the idea of the Singlife Mobile is to create a single integrated experience where you can manage your money, you can grow your money, and you can protect your money, and of course that means your family. And the way that we did this, and it's quite a unique proposition, was creating a debit card which is actually attached to your policy. So when you spend on your card, you're drawing down on the money within your policy, but then we give a return between 1% to 2% on money within that policy. So it's a good sort of nice way of managing your money, putting things there. But if you want to use it because you want to spend some money, you can do it at any time. Now, 2% is great, but market returns are better. And so that's why we created the Grow products. And so if you want to have some of your money within the manage vertical, but you want to go move $1,000 across into Grow and get market returns, then you can do that at any time. Maybe your situation changes, maybe the market conditions you feel are going to go down, then just move your money back again. And then, of course, the protection products are what we're more used to around sort of life insurance, term insurance. By integrating this all in the same place, then you can pay your premiums based on your manage. You can get market returns from Grow and use that to fund your premiums. It really creates a single integrated experience. So what's next for the company? Well, we're continuing to bring together Singlife and Aviva with data and analytics driving the decisions. And as I say, data and technology is really core for us. We want to serve our 1 million customers with the range of products that we have, but really with a first-class customer experience, customer-centric to us. We want to create a mobile-first, digitally enabled consumer and advisor ecosystem where the two channels sort of interrelate with one another and you can really have a holistic view, but still get your advice. And we want to continue to expand into the region with tech and data leading the way. And with that, I'll hand over to Vicky.
Thank you, Ned. Now, I don't have slides, but I'll talk a little bit about building on what Ned has said, right? So you can get a glimpse already that we're going to be a really different kind of insurance company. And dare I say it, right? Not just an insurance company, right? We aspire to be one of the most dynamic regional financial services company in Asia. Big ambitions, right? Homegrown, right? So very excited to be part of the organization and to be part of the journey. Now, so I'm the Chief People Officer at the company, and I wanted maybe just to give you a little bit of a sense of how we're coming together and what you can expect, working with us and working for us. Now, the two companies have come together, as Ned has pointed out, right? They are quite different but complementary right? You've got Aviva, that's a very traditional insurance with a strong suite of insurance products. You've got Singlife, young startup, digitally disruptive, right? So coming together is really a complement and bringing the best of each organization's talents and skills together to be a integrated financial services company. Now, I will not paint a picture that's all very easy, 9 to 5 kind of jobs. It's an exciting environment. It's very fast paced. So when you come work for us, you can expect there's a lot going on, a lot of projects, a lot of initiatives. At the same time, a lot of learning opportunities. At the same time, a lot of opportunities to leave a mark, to make a difference, right? Because we are a kind of company that values what people bring to the table, their skills, their experiences, maturity, and leadership qualities, right? Very importantly, also the ability and the desire to work to deliver great results in a team, with a team, right? We cannot do all of these great things that we want to do by ourselves. And although many of us are experts in our own area, as a team, we can deliver outstanding results and achievements. So when you come in, it's collaboration, it's a steep learning curve. There's a lot of opportunities to learn, there's a lot of opportunities to do, and there's a lot of opportunities to leave a mark, right? So not a journey for the faint-hearted, right? But if you want to be in an environment where you are empowered, right, to take decisions, to do the right thing for the business, to bring all the past experience to bear, then we would be a good place for you to work at. And maybe also just to give you a little bit of the idea of some of the things maybe not so much the specific projects that's happening, right? But when I say there's a lot going on, I mean, there's a lot going on. So in the sense, we are two companies coming together, integrating, building a new culture together, bring platform systems and tech systems, processes, SOPs, all the different apps we have and all the different functions together. So that's part of the integration. At the same time, also, since we are now a homegrown insurance company, we're also moving away from our legacy tech systems into our own. And last but not least, because we have such grand ambitions, we cannot continue to do what we've always done. Right? We can't continue to sell the products we've always sold in the same way, servicing customers in the same way. So we have to absolutely transform, right? Be much more customer and data driven, as Ned has said, and that takes a lot of effort and a lot of new technologies, new ways of working, new mindsets to be built. So it's a transformation journey as well. So if you're hearing all these things and you're excited by the prospect, you're on the right path. Go speak to our talent acquisition team at the recruiting booth later, the virtual recruiting booth, and then learn more about some of the jobs that we have on offer. We have a huge array, a wide array, not just in tech roles, but also in underwriting, in other areas as well. All right, so looking forward to hearing more from you guys. We will now pass it. I'm not sure if now is the time for Q&A. Maybe Florence can guide us.
Yeah, we'd love to hear some questions.
Or maybe for those of you on the Zoom call, there is a Q&A panel. If there are any questions that you would like to ask, just feel free to type it in, and we'll do our best to answer them. Okay, we'd love to hear more about Singlife's view on working remotely. Okay, I think there are a couple of so Aviva Singlife will be practicing. Actually, we already do practice a hybrid working model. So a couple of days in the office and a couple of days working from home, and we're set up for that. We want, because we're a fledgling company, right? We may have come together from two existing companies, but we're a fledgling company, and it's important for us to come, especially now in pandemic times, that we hardly see anybody. It's all Zoom calls. So we need to have some time in the office together to build those relationships, yeah. But also we allow flexibility for you to work from home, yeah, from other places within the country, to work remotely. And also we are also working on providing platforms and tools to enable virtual or hybrid collaboration. So we don't believe that everything and every decision and every conversation must be face-to-face. And all the work must be done face-to-face. We certainly don't believe that. And of course, we haven't been practicing that in the last 2 years, right? And we've been successful. But it's really a combination. But those relationships also still need to be built somehow, and where possible, face-to-face. Ned, do you want to?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing to that, which is, I think a lot about remote work in general, and I'm perhaps approaching this mostly from a techie point of view, but I think it's the same answer for everybody. It's just maybe technologists are well. And one thing that I absolutely don't want to have happen is people coming back to the office just to sit in silence and headphones on and bang out code, because honestly, they could probably do that more effectively from home. And so what I'm thinking about, and Vicky and all of us, is maximizing the impact of the time in the office. And so that should be time of collaboration and meeting people who perhaps you haven't met before, and doing, open sort of whiteboarding sessions with very sort of open-ended questions, and not just to sit there and bang out code. And then that changes the whole way that you even arrange an office, right? Because then it's more around sort of some areas for hot desking, etc., but then more collaboration spaces, more open spaces. And so it's not going to happen in day one, but over the next few years, I really look forward to changing the entire office environment to be one of when you're in the office, be there for the right reasons.
Yeah, I think that raises a very good point, right? Because it's face-to-face collaboration. We are working on brainstorming initiators, projects, retros. And, it's good to kind of be able to do that in person. And so time in the office is really for collaboration with people, with your colleagues, your teammates, rather than come in, sit at the desk, get the aircon, and just do work by yourself all day long, right? So yeah, we will encourage people when they come back, to work on collaborative work rather than individual work.
So we have two questions here which are very related to one another, which is around how open to hiring for mid-career changes. I think in general, that's something that we're always very supportive of, and something that's very interesting. If people come from a diverse set of backgrounds, and they often have a diverse way of thinking, which is often exactly what you need, because if everyone thinks in exactly the same way, you're going to have very predictable output. Personally, I would say that you need to show a certain degree of passion for that, and the idea that it's easy just to sort of magically change mid-career without putting in a bit of effort and a bit of thought is not going to happen. And so what I mean by that, and I'm talking from a tech perspective, but I think it's equally true from all, is I'd want to see some sort of evidence is maybe too strong a word, but the person really is interested in it. They've done some self-learning, they've done some courses online, they've talked to the right people, and that they've really, really thought it through and said, no, this is exactly what I want to do. These are the courses I've done. Can you take me to the next level? And then I'd absolutely be open to that conversation. Vicky, I'm not sure if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah. So I absolutely agree with that. And well, open to mid-career changes. We have actually effected quite a few within the organization today. Maybe a notable example is we had someone in customer service actually retrain, and we train them and we send them to retain to start out in a junior data analytics role. It's quite a switch, right? But the person showed a lot of willingness and passion, and took up the training and really applied himself. So that's just one of a few other examples we've done. We've moved people from administration into project management, PMO office. So sometimes administration is very good at organizing and arranging things, right? It's just then to add more skill and knowledge to then take on a project management coordination role. So there are possibilities. We want to encourage that actually to as jobs evolve in the 21st century and beyond. We want to also help our people involved with their skills. Now there is a question around skills, right? I think what we're looking for, as Nat has alluded to, right, is really mindset, a desire for change. So if I had to condense, all of our ethos and aspirations for the kind of skills or the kind of employees we're looking for, or the behaviors, right? Maybe I can say three things. We're looking for people with learning agility. So what that means, right? Learning agility is actually learning to do something when you have no experience prior to doing it. So doing something when you don't know how to do it and learning how to do that. Sounds a bit complicated, right? But really, you're starting at, I don't know how to do this, okay, but I'm going to learn. And you have an open mindset around that, right? Learning agility. Number two, it's a questioning attitude. You know, a lot of times in large organizations, you have, or even in small ones, right? As long as they've been very long established, there's always this mindset around, it's how we've done it, you know, for the last 20 years, you know, it's worked. We tried other things, it didn't work, so we can keep doing the same. So that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to hire people who bring in their outside experience and a questioning attitude. Why are we doing this? Can we do it better? In fact, can we stop doing some of these things? Right? That's what I'm looking for. And the last, but also very important, and it goes together with questioning and learning agility, is the courage to challenge. Right? So we are oftentimes working in organizations where, you know, the boss says something and then we do what the boss says. Okay, so in addition to questioning what it needs to be done, but we also must build the courage to say, actually, I think there is a better way. And here's the idea, here's my idea. Can I run with it? Right? And it takes courage. You know, I don't think it usually comes so naturally to us, especially Asians. So I think those would be some of the qualities that we will look for to start with. You know, assuming that your other skills are in line with what we're looking to hire. Okay, internship opportunities, absolutely yes. We're actually going to start a wave of intern hiring, just getting some things ready. So can also talk to the TAT and raise that. We absolutely love and welcome interns.
Just to add to that, it's similar to the question about new grads. I'm a massive fan of those programs. I started my career on a graduate program and stayed with that company for 12 years because I felt that they had given me a lot of opportunity early on, and that I then sort of repaid it. And I very closely identified with sort of the cultural values of the company because of the way that I've come into it. And in a perfect world, in an ideal world, I think that actually all, well, maybe not all, a high portion of your senior leaders should have come in through a grad program and sort of worked up. I think that if you can get that right, then it shows a really strong internal culture. And that's certainly something I'll be looking to build going forwards, for sure.
And two last questions. So yes, there is a vacancy for the senior UI UX designer role. Are we looking to grow the team? Absolutely, yes. But there's some urgent needs that we need to meet right away. So we'll build those first. And as we build out, we will build and bring in more junior people to grow and groom. Yeah, so we always want to ensure, we want to develop a pipeline of talent, young talent as well, not just experienced talent. Because we also believe in, you know, building skills where we work, where we live, for the country that we operate in. Yeah, so definitely that. And to reiterate and reinforce that point, graduate programs and internships will form a very big piece of our building talent in 2022. I hope we've answered most of the questions. Just visit us at the booth.
Yeah, maybe just one comment is obviously there is an existing list of roles, and those, as Vicky says, are the most important ones. But as we go through this transformation and as we sort of change our DNA a little bit, I think there's going to be an ongoing need to bring in people, particularly I think actually at the junior levels. And so, you know, talk to the people at the booth and get the contacts, etc., build relationships. But this is going to be an ongoing process, and you know, keep checking back in, whether it's next week, next month, next year. But this is going to be a sort of a growth story. I think it's going to go on for a little while.
Thank you. And thank you, IBF, for having us and having us to kick off the event.
Great. Thank you so much, Ned and Vicky, for that insightful sharing. For those of you who might have more questions, do check them out at their booth in the hiring zone, and you can post more questions to them there, and the hiring managers, they have manning the booth. So we'll see you in a bit. Our next sharing session will be with Barclays at 10:30. We'll see you back then. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for taking time. Great to meet you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.